First, you guys know what to do. Go ahead and leave your comments or your thoughts about it.
It's a great movie because it goes back and forth with the family.
The dance that he did, it was a little bit racist.
I don't
the way she
agree
was
with
looking
you.
at him and all
I
that.
don't agree with you at all. Hey everybody, this is Rob here, and today I'm going to be looking at a cult film that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. It's Donnie Darko. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal as Donnie. He's a troubled teen who, after waking up from an accident, is told by a 6-foot rabbit named Frank that the world will end, and he manipulates Donnie into doing these weird acts of violence. The script was written by Richard Kelly, and this movie also stars Jake's sister Maggie and Drew Barrymore as a teacher, and Jenna Malone as Jake's love interest. Now, I had not really seen this movie before until a few days ago. I did get a request for this film. It took me a while to get it done, but I finally found the time to watch it. Actually, I got to watch both of these movies and do this review. But ever since it came out, I felt like I was ready to watch this polarizing film that people either praise or despise. And what I did was I watched the theatrical cut that runs at about 113 minutes, and then I watched the director's cut that runs at 133 minutes. So I watched them back to back in about 4 or 5 hours. So that's how I spent my day. I gotta say, I like the dialogue of the movie the most, I think, especially between Donnie and his sister, because it does sound like real teens fighting, and oftentimes there's some funny ones between Donnie when he's hanging out with his friends, like when they are talking about the Smurfs. That was another one of my favorite parts of the movie. Donnie Darko was interesting to watch, but when I was watching the theatrical cut, I don't know if it's me, but I had a hard time hearing the dialogue because the music or the sound effects were sometimes louder, but when I was watching the movie, I just could not take my eyes off the screen while I was trying to piece the film together and wondering what was going to happen to this main character. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was believable as the socially awkward and confused teen, but after the first hour of the theatrical cut, I felt like pieces of the movie were missing, as I felt like random stuff were happening, like a teacher suddenly gets fired, which I felt came out of nowhere, and then I found myself becoming less involved. I felt like a lot of characters were being introduced and then just heading into the background. But when I popped this director's cut in, I got to see some of the scenes that were in the theatrical cut over again, and I got to pick up on stuff that I must have missed the first time. Like this montage that appears like 20 minutes in, I realized was introducing the characters of the film. The sound I thought was much better here, and I thought the actors were audible, and I think I was able to follow the story better as a result. And some of the added footage I thought really added to the story, and I thought the characters were much better developed than in the theatrical cut. I think Kelly did, on the other hand, add some scenes that I felt weren't necessary. Like there's a scene where Donnie's mom is asking his sister how she knew Donnie was not taking his pills. I didn't think that was necessary. Or there's a scene where Donnie's mom is leaving to take Donnie's younger sister to a dance competition. Now, before that, we saw a scene where she comes to Donnie in his bedroom and says, okay, your sister's going to take you to your psychiatrist, and you need to be a good boy, and all this other stuff. Then there's this new scene where they're outside and they're saying goodbye and all this other stuff all over again, which I kind of felt redundant. I mean, I think Kelly was trying to have Donnie spend this moment with his family before the ending came, but I felt at the time that it was kind of redundant and not really necessary. But it was interesting when I was watching this director's cut to see alternate takes where actors are saying, or sometimes even doing, different things than they did in the theatrical cut. But what I did not like about this director's cut was they add book pages that explains time travel, but some of these pages were written in a way that I kind of had a hard time following, especially when you had to when you read them, the pages, some of the pages show up real fast, and then they're gone like that. I found myself pausing and trying to read and trying to comprehend what I was reading and stuff like that. And there was some stuff in the theatrical cut that I liked that did not make it into the director's cut. Like there's a scene where a teacher is defending her teaching methods that I like that they didn't include in the director's cut. But overall, I like the film. I think maybe I need to see it 1 or maybe 2 more times This is a movie you can't watch once. You got to watch it at least two, some maybe more times. But I like the movie. I think if I watch it a couple more times, I think I'll be able to understand it better. I think I have an idea of what is going on. In the way this movie was like 2001, Stanley Kubrick's 2001, where you're given these images and you have to kind of put the story together yourself in a way. But I think I got an idea of what's going on. But overall, which version of Donnie Darko should I recommend? I honestly would say watch both cuts of the movie. They're both on DVD. I know some people are like, Rob, which cut should I watch? I don't have time. Which one should I watch? I would probably lean more towards the director's cut, but there's some stuff in the theatrical cut that I liked that doesn't appear in here, so that's why I'm recommending them both. I think people have a debate over which cut's better anyway. Some people think that the director's cut's, it develops everything better, which I agree with, but some people say the director's cut is... there's too much information given, and some people like the theatrical cut better because it challenges them to try to figure out what's going on, but overall that's up to you. That's why I say watch both cuts. They're both on DVD and you can decide for yourself. So that's my review on Donnie Darko. So thank you very much for taking the time and watching it. And of course, leave your comments about the video, and please leave your comments about the movie. Which cut did you like? Which cut do you think was better and all that stuff? I really do want to know. So alright, so thank you guys very much for watching, and you guys take care now.